You know, there's this specific feeling that hits you when you walk into a store or scroll through an app late at night. It's not just, oh, I want that. It's deeper. It's almost like a physical pull. And for a lot of people reaching their 60s, this pull starts to feel different. You've spent decades working, right? You've dealt with the bosses, the commutes, the endless bills, and the stress of raising a family. Now, you're finally at a point where you feel like you should be able to breathe. And that's exactly where the trap is set. We call it impulse spending. But that sounds too clinical. In reality, it's an emotional reflex. Think about it. When you're 60, you aren't just buying a new gadget or a piece of furniture you don't need. You're often trying to buy back a sense of excitement that maybe feels like it's slipping away. There's this quiet, nagging thought in the back of your mind saying, if not now, when? It's a powerful justification. You tell yourself you've earned it, and honestly, you have. But the brain is a bit of a liar. It links that earned it feeling to a credit card swipe, and before you know it, you're surrounded by things that don't actually make your life better. They just make your bank account smaller at a time when every dollar starts to carry a lot more weight. It's a weird paradox. You're at the age where you should be the most disciplined, but your brain is actually more tired than ever. It's spent 60 years making high-stakes decisions. So when it sees something shiny, something that promises a quick hit of joy, it just wants to say yes. It wants the path of least resistance. We see this all the time in the US. People who work their entire lives only to find themselves stuff rich and cash poor, right when they're supposed to be crossing the finish line. It's not because they're bad with money. It's because they're human, and they're fighting a psychological battle they didn't even know they were signed up for. The biggest trick our minds play on us at this stage is the idea of the ultimate reward. After 40 years of grinding, your brain starts to look at every purchase as a trophy. You see a high-end watch or a top-of-the-line kitchen upgrade, and you think, I've worked too hard to say no to myself now. It's a very American mindset, the idea that consumption is the prize for labor. But here's the reality. That dopamine hit from buying something new lasts about 48 hours. The financial stress of a shrinking nest egg? That lasts a lot longer. We're essentially trading long-term peace for a short-term mood boost. It's not that you don't deserve nice things, it's that your brain is confusing buying with living. We've been conditioned by decades of marketing to believe that if we aren't spending, we aren't enjoying our success. Breaking that link is the first real step to taking your power back. By the time you hit 60, your willpower muscle has been through a lot. Think about it. Thousands of decisions made for your career, your kids, and your future. This leads to something called decision fatigue. It's that mental exhaustion that makes it way harder to say no to a clever ad or a limited-time offer. Marketers know this. They specifically target people in your age group because they know you're tired of overthinking everything. They use words like exclusive, you've earned this, or don't miss out. It's designed to bypass your logic and hit your emotions directly. When you're tired, your brain stops looking at the long-term consequences and starts obsessing over the right now. You aren't losing your mind. You're just running on fumes, and the retail world is perfectly designed to take advantage of that exact moment when your guard is down. There's this heavy, unspoken pressure that starts to creep in around 60. You look at the calendar and realize you probably have more years behind you than ahead of you. That realization creates a very specific kind of anxiety. You start thinking that if you don't buy that camper van now, or if you don't upgrade to the first-class ticket today, you might never get the chance. It's a now or never mentality that the psychology world calls mortality salience. Basically, because we're aware that time is limited, we try to cram as much experience as possible into our lives. And in our culture, we've been taught that experiences usually cost money. The problem is that this fear makes us incredibly impulsive. We start justifying massive purchases, not because we need the item, but because we're afraid of a future where we're too old or too tired to enjoy it. We buy things to prove to ourselves that we're still active, still adventurous, and still in the game. But here's the thing, spending your security to buy a feeling of youth is a losing trade. Real life isn't found in the things you accumulate to show you've lived. It's found in the freedom to wake up without a pit in your stomach over a credit card bill. When you let fear drive your wallet, you aren't actually living more. You're just becoming a spectator in a life you're increasingly stressed to afford. One of the sneakiest ways impulse spending shows up at 60 is through the people we love. It's what I call the Grandchild Loophole. You might be incredibly disciplined with your own needs. You're still driving the same car, you don't buy fancy clothes, but the second it comes to your grandkids or your adult children, all those rules fly out the window. You see a toy, a gadget, or even a huge vacation, and you tell yourself it's an investment in memories. It feels noble, right? It feels like you're being the generous provider you always wanted to be. But underneath that generosity, there's often a psychological itch to be remembered. We use money to secure our place in the family hierarchy, or to make up for the time we spent working when our own kids were little. The danger here is that legacy spending is still impulse spending. If you're draining your cash to buy your family's happiness today, you might end up becoming a financial burden to them 10 or 15 years down the road. True legacy isn't a mountain of plastic toys or a week at a theme park that no one will remember in a decade. It's your own financial independence. Being a parent or grandparent who is stable and secure is a much greater gift to your family than any impulse buy could ever be. Now, knowing why we do this is one thing, but how do you actually stop it when you're standing in the middle of a store? The most effective trick is deceptively simple: the 48-hour buffer. When that must-have feeling hits, you make a deal with yourself. You aren't saying no because the brain hates being told no, you're just saying later. You walk away for 2 full days. Usually by the time Tuesday rolls around, that intense emotional pull has vanished and your logical brain is back in charge. You'll realize that the espresso machine was just a distraction, not a life changer. But you have to go a step further and actually talk to your future self. Psychology shows that we often treat our older selves like complete strangers. We don't feel their pain or their hunger, so we rob them to pay for our fun today. Try this. Find a photo of yourself from 10 years ago and think about how fast that time went. Then, realize the next 10 years will go even faster. When you're about to drop $500 on an impulse, ask yourself, am I stealing this from the 80-year-old version of me who might really need it for healthcare or a comfortable home? When you start to view your savings as a gift to a person you actually care about, yourself, it becomes much harder to throw that money away on a temporary dopamine hit. We have to talk about the environment you're living in, specifically your digital environment. At 60, you might think you're immune to social media influence, but the algorithms are smarter than we give them credit for. They've spent years mapping out your insecurities. They know when you're feeling lonely, when you're bored, and exactly what kind of product will make you feel relevant again. Every time you open your email and see a flash sale or a curated ad on Facebook, your brain is being nudged toward a choice you didn't even want to make 5 minutes ago. It creates this false sense of social urgency, the idea that everyone else is enjoying this product or this lifestyle, and you're falling behind. To beat this, you have to be aggressive about your digital space. This isn't just about willpower, it's about removing the triggers before they even hit your eyes. Unsubscribe from those retail newsletters that flood your inbox every morning. They aren't deals, they're invitations to spend money you weren't planning to spend. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like your life or your home isn't enough. When you clear out that digital noise, you reclaim your attention, and your attention is the first line of defense for your bank account. If you don't see the exclusive offer, the impulse never even has a chance to start. You're not just saving money, you're buying back your peace of mind from companies that are literally profiting from your stress. At the end of the day, the goal here isn't just about hoarding cash or becoming a miser. It's about redefining what freedom looks like at this stage of your life. For decades, we've been sold the lie that freedom is the ability to buy whatever we want, whenever we want it. But real freedom, the kind that actually lets you sleep at night, is the ability to say no to a temporary distraction so you can keep your yes for the things that actually matter. It's about knowing that your worth isn't tied to a new car or a remodeled kitchen, but to the security and peace of mind you've spent a lifetime building. When you master your impulses, you aren't depriving yourself. You're protecting the future version of you that deserves to live without financial fear. So, here's my challenge for you. The next time you feel that itch to buy something you didn't plan for, take a breath And remember that you're in a war for your own attention. Don't let a clever marketing algorithm or a moment of boredom rob you of the peace you've earned. If this conversation hit home for you, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one impulse buy you've struggled with lately? Let's talk about it and break the cycle together. And if you want to keep diving deep into the psychology of your money so you can stay in control of your bank account, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is Psych Cents, and I'll see you in the next one.